Hello, I'm Mike of New Left Dice. This is the Kerbal Space Program. I've just remembered a thing. I have currently gone around Eve with this here thing, which is my that's what I want. Oh, building database. That's annoying. That was meant to just come up and look interesting. Well, there we go. So I've done my low-level altimetry scan of Eve. As per contract, and I got this rather nice map. It's all very pretty, and I've got 100% of the low-level radar, or the low-frequency radar, or whatever it is. I just remembered that That means I can analyze the data, and I can get 100 science off that, which I can just transmit and get the 100 science. 400. Well, actually, let's get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. All right, looks like with that 410 battery power, that looks like it's going to succeed. That's going to there you go, 100 science added. That takes me to 986. So why is there why do I have why do I have a maneuver node? What's that doing? Huh. I had a maneuver node 6 days ago, apparently. Can't imagine why I'd want it. I keep finding these things that I don't, like, why is that? I don't want to be in. I want to be in. I want to head over here. I want to head over to Gilly. Because obviously, I've got the same here with the Gilly radar. I should be able to do the same thing. So there we are. Just point towards the sun. No, we're actually pretty pointed already. Which way are we pointing? Which way are we going? So bring up the map thing. I got 100% of Gilly in terms of the low level, so I can again analyze the data. Yeah, I've got 410. So 40 megabits for 120 sites. That's pretty good. I happen to know. I've actually that should take 360 electric charge, I think. Slightly less because I'm actually gaining electric power as we go. This is the thing. This is the thing I need to. One of my I've got a list of things that I need to take into consideration when I build crafts. Like I need to make checklists and things. One of which is like if you have one of the things I had. If you have a probe core, if whatever you're putting a probe core on, make sure you've got solar panels on or some kind of electricity generation, and make sure you've got batteries on. But the other thing is, if you've got any kind of scientific instrument on board, make sure that you have enough battery power to transmit all the science from the biggest scientific instrument you've got. Because that was, what's this? What's going on here? Science data from space around Gilly. Was that a thing I needed to do? Okay, there you go. That was good, 112 and 200. Kerbal space bucks. That's sweet, there you go, more contracts done. However, this is not why I'm here. So that does mean, however, that I now have over 1,000 science, so I can now get I've got 2 more top level things to get. But that's not why I'm here. What I'm actually here is because somehow, and I'm not quite sure how this happened, my high level radar scan, my high accuracy radar scan, didn't get around Gilly, and I'm not entirely sure how that happened. And I mean, I don't know whether I just forgot to do the equalization burn. I don't know whether I forgot to do the circularization burn. I don't know whether I actually had everything set up, but the game decided that no, that doesn't count, or what. But the high scan sat is no longer getting an encounter with Gilly, which is a bit of a problem, and I probably wouldn't have noticed this if I hadn't gotten a contract, because I've been trying. What I want to do is get what are the list of things I need to do. So right, do high resolution scan of Gilly. Dip 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 dip. That's when I realised that that was the satellite that had gone missing, and of course I now need to go fix this. So I've given some manoeuvres which get me, but I can't get an encounter. I've been trying very, very hard, and I really just can't get an encounter. So I've got a bunch of manoeuvres set up. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. What I'm probably going to have to do is get to, because with that one there, so I've got a maneuver there, and I've got a maneuver there, and I've got a maneuver there, and that only gets me within about 300 kilometers. And I think I may have to, at that point, start pretending I'm docking, and just do the go towards it, and then speed up and slow down. But that is going to depend that's going to depend on a great many things, like exactly how much delta V I've got, and exactly how much delta V I'm going to have to spend to get there. So let's speed up, because this is going to speed up quite a bit. I've already put the alarm in, so that I can do that time warp without any difficulty. So I'm really going to have to be very, very accurate in doing this. I don't really need precise node right now. It's not really helping me. So I'm just going to add the next. Oh, and actually, no, that's probably not going to work. I was going to add the next alarm right now, but I don't think that's actually going to work. I didn't want heat. I wanted orbits, because I have the very important time to node burn. Absolutely vitally necessary. It's basically become completely necessary to the way I play the game now. But these are relatively short burns, and the other ones are really, really, really tiny as well. Okay, and this is Gilly's so small that getting these there we go. That's going to have to do. That you have to be just ridiculously accurate to get to it. What I probably need to do is work out one of these days the full maths, because I should be able to do it, because these things are on rails. And I think even in real life, we know the orbits of these things, so I should be able to work out the maths and just say, okay, I need to be going at this speed at this point, da, 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 da. But I would be much better off if I had something like KOS on board this thing, which would allow me to do that. So another huge long distance to get to. But through the power of time warping, going to get there quite quickly. Now this is like a 7 meters per second burn here. I think this next one's even less. And just looking at seeing how because there's sometimes this game runs really fast. Times this game runs slightly slower, and sometimes when you get the low frame rate, that's actually kind of useful because you can be a lot more accurate in your starting and your stopping. But I'm not sure whether I really want to try and get that accurate. And yet again, I wish I had a really good, powerful computer core on this, a probe core on this, which would enable me to follow the maneuver node, no matter where it goes. That's where you need to go. That's what we need to do. But I don't have one of those, and I don't have a computer core on it either. So I am completely stuck with manual maneuvering. I shouldn't have done it that way. That was foolish. Well, here's hoping that I can recover it by using the mover node does have the maneuver mode indicator on the nav ball does do a good job of saying, actually no, this is where you now need to be pointing to make up for the idiot thing you just did. But yeah, these tiny, it should be like ridiculous that those tiny maneuvers should be necessary, but they really are. Next one's like 2.7 meters per second. So I'm hopefully not going to be stupid enough to try and. That's 4 days away. Good lord. Why am I saying good lord? That last one was like 14 days. I don't know what I'm complaining about, quite frankly. Now this one, if it goes to plan, gets me a maneuver that is about gets me to about 300 kilometers, which is about as good as I can get. And so at that point, with my remaining 1,000 meter delta V, I want to see if I can't get yeah, am I going to be able to move towards it? Can I spend like 300 meters per second moving towards it in a useful fashion, matching orbits? I mean, I'm going to have to match orbits first before all that happens. But interestingly, it's saying that my velocity with my target is 0, and I don't know if that's correct. Right, we're not doing it that way, we're doing it this way. Ooh, wow. You can see how ridiculously tiny this maneuver is. Now I'm not going to this, I'm not getting an encounter at all. Huh, that's aggravating. It's not even. Oh, this is aggravating. So according to this, I'm not even getting an encounter, not even getting anything close. This, I mean, I think a lot of this is down to, whoa, there we go. Okay. Now something, this is, yeah, so I keep coming back to this, and then, ooh, ooh, ooh. Right, so allegedly that's an encounter. I think part of it is just the game is not a super mega accurate, you know, it's not actually simulating all these bodies in space every single second, or even every single millisecond that it could do. I think it's kind of doing the best it can in order to have something that feels like a fun game. Yeah, which is fair enough. Like that is the point. But it does mean that on occasion, that if you're doing a big, huge maneuver like what's going on here, then it can change its mind about what will work and what won't. Because I had all those maneuvers set up, and it told me that I got a reasonably close approach. But when I come back to it, suddenly it's saying, well, actually, no, you don't have an approach at all. And that can be a bit frustrating. Sometimes it's not, and especially when you're looking at these lines through space, you kind of, okay, I can make a maneuver, but I'm not really sure which of these levers I should be pulling to kind of, you know, get what I want. Oh man. Aha! Now, you can't, yeah, this is not very obvious, but I think if I go to focus view on Gilly, there we go. We now have an encounter. So it can get a little bit better according to this. Oh, look at that. Right, let's leave it there. Yes, we have an encounter. It's even reasonably polar. Okay, so we are going to go for an SOI change. That's going to be our next thing. And I'm going to put, well, actually no, I'm not going to put the maneuvering on until I get the SOI change, because I've noticed that precise node can be a bit wonky. Let's go back to the ship. The thing I suddenly realized, saying you can't quite see this, but what I was seeing is that little purple line. I've now got a purple orbit, and when I was up there, it was basically you can see a little tiny smudge of purple. When you have a maneuver node running, you very often, it will not tell you what is going to happen in terms of encounters and stuff. You only see the encounters and stuff that will happen if you do the maneuver node correctly. You don't see the maneuvers that are actually going to occur. Which is what I would like. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see what is going to actually happen. But if you do get an encounter, you get that purple orbit. Blue orbit is what is going to happen if you don't do anything. Brown orbit is what is going to happen if you get your maneuver node correct, or the brown dotted orbit is what is going to happen if you get your maneuver absolutely correct. But purple orbit is what happens after you have your encounter with the thing that you're going to have an encounter with. So when you start getting a little purple orbit, that's when you know you've got an encounter. This is one of those things where I probably should have known that already, but you know. So I'm not going to fast forward through this bit. because everything is so fiddly right now. So amazingly fiddly. I'm going to start doing things like, from now on, maybe, because I've got, at the moment, look at my monies. I've got no monies. I've got no monies at all. That's a bug that occasionally comes up. Where it insists you have no monies until such time as you actually get it. I noticed if I do a thing that gets me some science or something, it'll suddenly remember, oh yeah, you got money. So it's like it's forgotten the connection between you and your money. That's all right. But anyway, I've got over 4 million Kerbal bucks at the minute. I'm okay for cash. So I think the next time I send probes and stuff, like I'm probably going to send an egg basket or something similar. I might do it differently, but I might send an egg basket or something similar to Duna, for example, in 354 days. I also have to sort out what I'm going to do with Bob Kerman, who's been on Duna for God knows how long, because I don't think he's actually got enough Delta V to get back home. So I'm just going to put the proper big cores on them, and I'm going to put KOS modules on all of them, on everything, just so that if it goes horribly wrong, I have more options than I currently have, and I can be more accurate, and I can be very, very, very. Oh, that's gone blue. That's what I want. So I can be very, very precise, because I've had to do this ridiculously big maneuver, and doing 7 meter per second maneuvers and 2 meter per second maneuvers and stuff like that. That is going to go on Perry. So this has actually gone pretty well. Woo, that's not what I want. There you go. Now, there's often a thing. Oh, that's going to be close enough. When it comes to these ScanSats, right? There's the minimum altitude, the maximum altitude, and there's optimal altitudes, and there's suboptimal altitudes and stuff. So for pretty much all the other ones, all the ones around E, I spent quite a bit of time going, okay, this is the altitude it needs to be at, and I'm going to make sure it's at exactly that altitude, and da, 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 da. But Gilly, the tiny, tiny space potato, its gravity is so low that I'm not sure I can get to the altitude I'm meant to get to for this. So, yeah. So let's just do that. Let's not do that. I don't know what I was doing. I completely forgot. Right, let's do this. That's what I want to do. Let's get that burn done. So yeah, given how fiddly everything has had to be just to get there, if this says that if I'm at a suboptimal altitude, I don't think I'm going to care that I'm at a suboptimal altitude. This is. I don't think I'm going to get any better than this. If I try and get to the proper altitude, I rather suspect I'll not be in Gilly's sphere of influence at all, which is obviously not what I want. But this is a nice big chunky, look at that, 15, nearly 60 meters per second. Oh, look at that, 1.9 second burn. Oh, that's so, that's dead butch, that is. As opposed to this is like 2 meters per second. This is like a proper burn, this is. Yeah, so I'm going to get this running. I need to get 95% in order to get this particular contract, which is not the contract that is currently showing. There we go, horizon, 95% correct. So given this is very likely to be a non-optimal altitude, it's probably going to take a while. Right, let's make sure that I don't overshoot this, because if I overshoot this, I'm going to be a very sad panda indeed. So, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1, 0. It has literally only just now occurred to me that I could have been thrust limiting my engine and making my life easier, but never mind. There we go. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Yes. We are done. Sweet. There you go. Start SAR scan. Suboptimal. I don't care. So it's saying suboptimal, but I cannot. That's as good as I'm going to get. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe if you've been enjoying these videos. Do find Neil Left Dice at neilleftdice.com. Let's look up the big map for no good reason. Get that out of the way. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe, Neil Left Dice, neilleftdice.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, find us there. And until next time, that's not the right map. Until next time, put the right map up on your screen if you're going to be doing that kind of thing. 0.7%. Got a whiles to go. Reach the stars.